But it didn't. I never told anyone about it, even Julia, though I know it showed in the expression on my face, and this made her sad. And I am truly sorry about that now. Sorrier than you know. She and I were snow white and rose red. Julia, fair, quiet and contained, happy inside herself, inside the house, humming. And me, quite the opposite, straining to leave, dark, outspoken, walking in the wind, railing. Railing, from the Latin to bray like a donkey, regulare, and railing meaning barrier or fence from straight stick, regular, which is how I looked, skinny as a ruler. Our 5th birthday, 1 year of school done, and my legs and arms narrowing as I rose an inch above Julia's head. We were given tricycles, mine yellow and Julia's pink. Julia drew chalk lines on the drive and spent the day reversing into parking spaces. I rode out of the drive, turned left, curved around to number 13, at the top of the crescent, 12 o'clock, crossed the road precariously to the roundabout, and drove my trike into the fish pond, singing, "We all live in a yellow submarine." At school, in Year 4, 1998, when I was 7 years old, and we were doing an underwater project, remaining ourselves disappointingly on land, Miss April told us that marinus meant of the sea in Latin, and sub meant under, hence submarine. But when I put up my hand and told her, "Excuse me, Miss April, but your pen has rolled sub your desk," she told me not to be a show-off, Augusta. I've always loved words, like other people love sweets or ice cream or puddings. Words made of letters so that sounds turn into things, actual things. And miraculously, we remember which sounds match which things. Hundreds and thousands of sound combinations, because that's language. It mesmerized me as a child, and I would hang about, spellbound, whenever I heard people speaking Spanish or French or Gujarati. I realized with some pride that I must sound as clever to foreigners when I spoke English, rattling off the words like a total pro, as we all do. Well, most of us. Not Graham Cook, who lived next door, whose mouth didn't manage to make any words at all. "You pity the Cooks," said my father, lightly, with no sign of pity on his face. "It could happen to anyone." I liked to pop next door and talk to Jim Cook when he was out washing his car in the drive, because he always had new dreams up his sleeve. But the truth was that none of them ever seemed to slip out of his sleeve into real life. Barbara Cook used to take Julia and me swimming when she had respite care days for Graham because, my mother told me, the poor woman liked the chance to do normal things and do them normally, without a palaver. I tried to make swimming the best possible time for Barbara Cook, although she wasn't a person who said much about how she was feeling. One day, after swimming, I couldn't find my skirt or my pants, and I had to walk into Barbara's changing cubicle wearing a red t-shirt and nothing else. But all she said was, "Augusta, you look the living image of Winnie the Pooh." She laughed until her eyes were streaming tears. She wrapped my wet towel around my waist, and I had to waddle into the car park like that, my face on fire with the shame of it. I wanted to like Barbara Cook, and I did like Barbara Cook. I might even have loved her. So I tried not to mind that she laughed at me when I already felt ashamed. I also learnt a valuable lesson, that the people we like, and might even love, will still disappoint us, in the same way, I suppose, as we disappoint them. "Why do you think Barbara laughed at me?" I said to Julia later. Julia shrugged and went on making some kind of woolen knitted rope which came out of the head of a painted wooden doll. I hated that thing. I had one too, of course, still sealed.